So in last lecture we have seen about Mendeleev's table and limitations or drawbacks of Mendeleev's table. Right. So he is the first one to introduce groups and columns. Horizontal rows are called as periods and vertical columns are called as groups. So in total he has introduced 7 groups. And almost similarly 7 periods. Whereas Mendeleev, by the time of Mendeleev, noble gas is also discovered to some extent. So just what he has done is he modified Mendeleev's table. That's why we also call Mosley's table as modified Mendeleev's table. So based upon his experiment, Mosley's X-ray experiment, already we have seen in atomic structure chart.
Yes, sir.
So from there we know that root nu is equal to
Z minus B.
A into Z minus B, where nu is frequency of X-rays, right? So nu is frequency of X-rays. Z is atomic number. A and B are constants. Now, so according to Mosley, classification of elements must be on the basis of atomic number. According to Mosley, periodic classification of elements must be on the basis of atomic number. We call it as Z value. Okay. So in till now what we have seen, periodic properties of elements are periodic functions of the atomic masses. Till now, whether it is Dobereiner triad or Newland octave, Mendeleev's table, whatever it is. But from here on, so according to Mosley, properties of elements are periodic functions of the atomic number. Properties of elements are periodic functions of their atomic number. Now, he arranged elements based upon increasing atomic number. Arranged elements in the order of increasing atomic number. Because of this principle, two limitations or two demerits of Mendeleev's table vanished because of this. One is isotope, two is anomalous space, right? So because of this, two limitations vanished immediately. Two demerits of Mendeleev's table vanished. One, isotopes. Two, anomalous space. Why these two things got vanished? Isotopes means they have atomic mass different, but atomic number same. As we are arranging according to atomic number, as they possess same atomic number, we have to place only at one position. Right? For example, hydrogen atomic number remains as 1. So, but according to Mendeleev, we have to place according to their atomic masses. So, hydrogen have 3 isotopes, we have 3 atomic masses. That means we need to place 3 types of hydrogens according to their atomic mass in Mendeleev's table. Right? If I want to arrange them according to atomic masses, H1, H12, H13. I need to place all the 3 in the Mendeleev's table because we are arranging elements based upon atomic mass. The three possess different masses. But if we want to arrange them according to atomic number, as they possess only one atomic number, same atomic number, we need to place them as only one position, as only simply as represent as simplified. Right? So isotopes got explained. Anomalous states. For example, if we take recording anomalous states. What are the anomalous states?
Uranium, tellurium and iodine.
Tellurium, iodine. Iodine mass number 127, tellurium 127.6, approximately 128. Right? If you see atomic numbers, atomic number of iodine 53, tellurium 52. According to Mendeleev, what is the order of arrangement of tellurium and iodine? First we need to arrange iodine, next tellurium. But what he has done? Based upon properties, giving priority to properties, he arranged tellurium before iodine. This is the anomalous way. But according to Mosley, they must be arranged in the same manner. Tellurium and iodine, because atomic number is 50 to 50. Mosley దృష్టిలో 52 తర్వాత 53 రావాలి అటామిక్ నెంబర్ బేసిస్. మెండలీవ్స్ చెప్పిన ప్రకారం ఏం రావాలి? 127 తర్వాత 128 రావాలి. అంటే టెలూరియం అయోడిన్ తర్వాత రావాలి. కానీ మెండలీవ్ ఏం చేశాడు? అటామిక్ మాస్ ఆర్డర్లో పెట్టకుండా ఇక్కడ కొంత డీవియేషన్ తీసుకొచ్చాడు. రైట్? దాన్ని మనం ఏమన్నాం? అనామలస్ పెయిర్ అన్నాం. రైట్? సో అనామలస్ పెయిర్ గురించి ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ వచ్చేసినట్టేగా. ఇప్పుడు ఇది అనామలస్ పెయిర్ కాదుగా, because we have arranged tellurium and iodine according to their atomic numbers only. So there is no need of calling it as anomalous pair. Right? That anomalous pair was explained. Similarly, another argon, potassium. Argon, potassium. Organic argon 40, potassium 39. But if you see the atomic numbers 18, 19. Right? Potassium is 19, argon is 18. According to Mendeleev, I need to place argon after potassium. But according to Mosley, argon must be placed before potassium. So that anomalous also vanished. Next. Another. Cobalt, nickel. Mass numbers. 59, 58.6. But if you see their atomic numbers, 28, 27. So that anomalous pair also vanished, and so on. So the moment you arrange elements according to their increasing atomic numbers, two things got vanished. Isotopes are explained as well as anomalous pairs got been explained. Now, what is the basic structure of Mosley's table or modified Mendeleev's table? Basic structure is total it possesses 9 columns. Mosley's table basically possesses 9 columns, 7 periods, or we call it as 7 rows. In these columns, in these 9 columns, column 1 to 7, column 1 to 7 have sub-columns or subgroups A and B. In these 9 columns, column 1 to 7, right? They have A and B subgroups, group 1 to 7. Then group 8, then 0 group. Totally how many vertical columns are there? 1 to 7, totally 7, 8 and 1, 9. Totally 9 columns. We call that 9 columns as 9 groups. Whereas 7 horizontal rows, we call them as 7 periods. And in addition to that, he placed lanthanoids and actinoids. Lanthanoids and actinoids are placed below the periodic table. Below this table, he placed them as a separate rows. below the table, which was not justified. Why he placed it in that manner, he has not justified. Because all these elements should be placed at one position. But he separated them from the table. So this is the basic structure of it. This zero group is nothing but inert gases, or we call them as noble gases. Just he placed noble gases by the side of 8th group. That means between 8th group and first group elements, you will get zero group elements. Right? This is the basic structure of Mendeleev's modified Mendeleev's table or Moseley's periodic table. So let me see the structure, the table, and then we will continue with certain properties. This is modified Mendeleev's table. If you observe carefully, you will find totally 9 vertical columns. We call them as 9 groups. Whereas column 1 to column 7, they have been classified into A, B subgroups. And this is 8th column, having only transition element triads. These are triads of transition elements, right? And zero group element, these are nothing but noble gases, just they placed between 8th and 1st. So you will get noble gases between 8th group elements as well as 1st group elements. Observe it, right? Between 8th group elements and 1st group elements, we have zero group elements, right? So why they have placed that at that position, they have not justified it, just they simply arrange them based upon their atomic numbers, right? Now, totally how many horizontal rows are there? 7. So Moseley's table possesses 7 periods. Totally 9 groups, right? Now, this first, excluding first, if you take the second period and the third period elements, second period and the third period elements, they are called as typical elements. What we call them as? Typical elements. What are typical elements means? Second and third period elements are called as typical elements. Now, what are bridge elements? Bridge group elements means the elements after which A and B classifications are observed. The elements after which A and B classifications are observed. Those elements are called as bridge elements. చూడండి ఎక్కడి నుంచి నాకు AB classification start అయ్యింది. So the element after which A and B classification are observed means from group 3, from period 3. So period 3 elements are called as bridge elements. Right? Because from here you got A and B classifications. So what are bridge elements means? After this bridge element, you will get elements of class A and class B. Right? These classifications are started after bridge elements. Therefore, that's nothing but, generally these bridge elements are nothing but third period elements. So bridge elements belongs to third period. So don't include argon rating. Right? So what are bridge elements means? Sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, fluorine. Only these are bridge elements. Clear? No. Of course, this modern table also possesses some limitations, or we can call them as drawbacks, right? And there are some benefits also of this table. So what are the major things we can say from this Moseley's table? It has explained 2 defects of Mendeleev's table first now. What is it? Anomalous phase and isotopes. So we will continue. What are the merits of the table? What are the demerits of the table? Share of this part. Completed. Table completed. Observe this. In this table you can find some numbers in this manner. R2O, RO, R2O3, R2O4, R2O5, R2O6, R2O7, R2O8. Right? So these are nothing but inner transition elements. We are not bothered about it. We have written it as R2A. That means if you want to see valency of these groups based upon with respect to oxygen increases from 1 to 8. Valency of these group elements increases from 1 to 8 with respect to oxygen. If you want to check valency with respect to hydrogen, you will get RH, RH2, RH3, RH4, RH3, RH2, RH, and nothing here. 0, RH0. Means with respect to hydrogen, what about valency? Valency means nothing but combining capacity. With how many hydrogens these elements combine with, right? That is nothing but valency. So what is the valency of first group elements? 1. Second group elements? 2. So valency is increasing from 1, 2, 3, 4 and then again decreasing 3, 2, 1. So with respect to hydrogen, valency of these respective group elements increases from 1 to 4 and then decreases to 1. Whereas with respect to oxygen, increases from 1 to 7. Of course, 8 group elements also, 0 group elements also form up to R2A. Only few elements, not all. For example, if you take xenon. Xenon can form XeO4. XeO4 means nothing but R2A. So can I write that as RO4? Can I write that as RO4? XeO4. Right? So xenon can show a valency of 8. So it can combine with 4 oxygens. Oxygen's valency is 2, hydrogen valency is 1. So valency of elements with respect to oxygen increases from 1 to 8. With respect to hydrogen, increases from 1 to 4 and then decreases. This is about valency of this respective elements with respect to hydrogen and oxygen. First, we have discussed regarding valency. What we have discussed regarding valency? Right? With respect to oxygen, valency increases from 1 to 8. Example, if you take first group elements, can I take the example as Na2O, sodium oxide, potassium oxide, of course lithium oxide. So here they are having a valency of 1 because oxygen valency is 2.
Yes.
So to satisfy that valency I need 2 elements, means valence of each element is 1. Similarly, if you take second, magnesium oxide, calcium oxide, valence of oxygen is 2, magnesium is also 2. That's why 1:1 ratio. Next 3. Can I write as B2O3, Al2O3, etc. Here valency is 3. If you take 4, carbon dioxide, CO2, right? SnO2, tin oxide, SnO2, lead oxide, PbO2, and so on. Right? They show valency of 4, SiO2 and so on. Silicon dioxide, SiO2. Next, group 5, P2O5, phosphorus pentoxide, N2O5, etc. Now here the valence of each element is 5. Next, 6th, sulfur, SO3. Then what is the valency? 6 nice atom is having a valency of 6. That is 3 oxygens, each oxygen is having valency 2. So total 3 2s are 6. To satisfy 6, how many elements are required? Only 1. So valency is 6 for each sulfur. Next, 7th element, group 7. Can I write as Cl2O7, Cl2O7, right? Next, I2O7 and so on. Br2O7. So we are not Cl2O7. Next, 0 group. In case of 0 group elements, XeO4. So then what we got? 8. So valency changing from 1 to 7. For 0 group elements, they show an element of a valence of 8, but only few elements, nothing but particularly xenon in our case. Now, with respect to hydrogen,
It changes from 1 to 4 and then decreases.
with respect to hydrogen, valency changes from 1 to 4 and then decreases.
And then
So if you take first group elements, example I am taking sodium hydride, lithium hydride, potassium hydride, etc. So what is the name of this? Sodium hydride. Lithium hydride and so on. Now in case of group 2, respective elements are calcium hydride, CaH2. We call this as calcium hydride. We also call this as hydrolith. We also call calcium hydride as hydrolith. The reason is calcium hydride react with water to form calcium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Calcium hydride is a white colored solid, reacts with water to form calcium hydroxide, right? So this, of course, this is soluble in water and hydrogen gas is liberated. So balance it. I think now the reaction got balanced. Now, this calcium hydroxide readily absorb carbon dioxide from atmosphere. It react with carbon dioxide from atmosphere. To form calcium carbonate. Calcium hydroxide absorbs carbon dioxide from atmosphere to form calcium carbonate. So this is the simplest way of preparing hydrogen gas, right? So we are preparing hydrogen gas from this compound. That's why this compound is called as hydrolith. It liberates hydrogen with water. So that's why it is called as hydrolith. Calcium hydride. Now, third group elements. BH3, boron trihydride. Instead of BH3, we write this as B2H6. Anyhow, valency of boron remains as 3. Next, fourth group, CH4, fourth group. Right? Carbon. Valency of hydrogen is 1, carbon valency is 4. Now coming to fifth group, NH3, ammonia gas. PH3, phosphine gas. What do we call this as? Phosphine. PH3 is called as phosphine. This is ammonia. This is methane. Methane is also called as marsh gas. Now coming to sixth group, H2O, or can I write as OH2? Simply H2O. H2S, hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen oxide, water. Now, similarly, zero group elements, no need. So they don't form hydrides with them. So with respect to hydrogen, what about valency? Increases from 1, 2, 3, 4 and decreases from 3, 2 and of course for seventh group also we need to write down. That is HF, HCl, HBr, HI. So what about valency of 7th group elements with respect to hydrogen remained as 1.
1.
Hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen chloride, hydrogen bromide, hydrogen iodide. All these are acids. Now, which is the strong acid among them?
HCl.
HI. Right? So which is the strong acid means? HI is a strong acid than HBr, than HCl, than HF. Acidic nature. HI is strong acid. The reason? We will discuss that part later. The reason is bond dissociation energy. Because of bond dissociation energy. That is the reason. We can break HI bond more easily. We can ionize HI bond more easily because of larger size of iodine. Therefore, H plus is generated easily from HI, and H plus is not generated easily from HI. Shall we wrap this part? So regarding valency, we have seen with respect to oxygen and with respect to hydrogen. Next, regarding metallic nature. Metallic nature decreases from left to right. Metallic nature decreases from left to right and increases from top to bottom. Decreases from left to right and increases from top to bottom. Next, regarding electropositivity and electronegativity. Electropositivity and electronegativity. Regarding electropositivity, decreases from left to right in a period, decreases from left to right, increases from top to bottom. Regarding electronegativity, increases from left to right, and decreases
Top to bottom.
from top to bottom. What I mean by electropositivity?
Capacity to handle.
Ability or tendency to lose electrons. Electronegativity means
To gain electrons.
ability to pull the bonded electron out towards it itself. Next, oxidizing and reducing nature. oxidizing and reducing nature. From left to right, reducing nature decreases and oxidizing nature increases. From left to right, reducing nature decreases and oxidizing nature increases. Next, regarding nature of oxides. Nature of oxides. From left to right, acidic nature of oxides increases. From left to right, acidic nature of oxides increases. That means, for example, if you take sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, aluminum, next silicon, phosphorus, chlorine, and so on. If you take in this manner, sodium and magnesium, these are nothing but group 1 and 2. They are basic oxides. Whereas aluminum is amphoteric. These are all acidic oxides. So what happens to acidic nature of oxides? Increases from left to right. Whereas left elements are basic oxides, right elements are acidic oxides. Next. Already you know what are typical elements. What are typical elements? Second and third period elements are typical elements. What are bridge elements? Elements up to 7. Right? They are bridge elements because the elements after which E and D subclassification starts. Next, diagonal relationship. Diagonal relationship. So, what are first elements? Lithium, sodium, beryllium, magnesium, carbon, silicon. These are group 1, group 2, group 3. Right? So, the element of period 2, first group, period 2 element, shows a similarity in properties with second group, third period element. These are the elements of second period. And these are the elements of third period. And these are group 1 elements, group 1, group 2, group 3. So they have observed some similarity in properties between first group, second period element, and third period and second group elements. Similarly, relation between beryllium and silicon. So this is called diagonal relationship. This is not observed beyond this. Beyond carbon and silicon, the diagonal relationship is not observed. Why this is observed means because of two properties. One is similar electronegativity. And almost same polarizing power. We will discuss about what is polarizing power and so on, right? So these are the two reasons for diagonal relationship. or we can say nearly same size. Nearly same size. Atomic radius is nearly same. Right? These are the three reasons we may say it as. Polarizing power is indicated by symbol phi. Phi is nothing but equal to charge upon square of radius. Is nothing but proportional to charge upon square of radius. So diagonal relationship is observed because of these reasons. Nearly same atomic size, nearly same electronegativity, almost same polarizing power. So polarizing power is nothing but charge upon radius square. What do you mean by polarization means? Distortion of electron cloud under the influence of next incoming group, or distortion of anion by the influence of a cation is called polarization. Right? So polarizing power, we will discuss that in chemical bonding chapter in detail. Just what is the reason for diagonal relationship means these are three reasons. Right? Next. If elements which fall in same group present in same group have similar properties, similar chemical properties. Elements present in same group have similar chemical properties are regular gradation in, or that means a regular change, continuous change in physical and chemical properties. Elements present in same group have similar chemical properties, or we can say regular gradation in physical and chemical properties. This is what we have observed. Next. No. If you see Mendeleev's table was purely based upon atomic masses. So what they have done is, there is some correction of atomic masses is observed.
Beryllium.
Particularly beryllium. Correction of atomic masses. Right? How they have done this atomic mass means, atomic mass is nothing but equal to equivalent mass into valency. Earlier they assumed valency of beryllium as 3, but which has been corrected as 2. Already we have seen in valency, 2A group elements have a valency of 2. So earlier they assumed that valency was 3, but it has been corrected as 2. So what is the earlier atomic mass of beryllium?
9.
4.55 into 3. Right? Earlier it is 4.55 into 3, whereas it was corrected to 4.55 into 2. This 19 equal to 9.1. Right? 9.1, this is approximately 13.65. Right? So correction of atomic masses are observed. Atomic mass is nothing but equivalent mass into valency. Equivalent mass of beryllium is nothing but 4.55. In case of beryllium, this is for beryllium. Why it has been corrected so? Because beryllium oxides of beryllium are isomorphous with aluminum oxides. Aluminum oxide is Al2O. As it is isomorphous with aluminum, what they have assumed, they assumed beryllium also to be having valency of 3. That's how they calculated as 13.65. Later they observed it as 9. So this is the cut-off. Next, defects in modern periodic table. Defects in modern periodic table. Should I have this one? Defects in modern periodic table. First one, position of hydrogen. Position of hydrogen. So what is the difficulty in position of hydrogen means, based upon its property, hydrogen can be placed along with group 1 as well as group 7. So it can be placed along with group 1 as well as group 7 based upon its properties. So the position of hydrogen is uncertain. Next, second, similar elements are separated, dissimilar elements are placed together. Right? Elements with similar properties are separated. For example, elements with similar properties are separated. For example, if you take barium and lead, barium can form barium chloride BaCl2, lead can form PbCl2, barium can form barium oxide BaO, lead can form PbO. So as they have some similarities in properties, they should be placed together, but they have placed them in different positions because barium is in group 2 whereas lead is in group 4. Irrespective of their properties, they are placed in different groups. Now, elements with different properties are placed together. Elements with dissimilar properties are placed together. For example, in group 1, lithium, sodium, potassium are highly reactive. In group 1, lithium, sodium, potassium are highly reactive. Whereas copper, silver and gold, they are called as coinage metals. They are called as coinage metals. Or we also call them as inert metals because they are less reactive. So more reactive elements and less reactive elements are kept together. Or we can say, in that group from top to bottom, from lithium to cesium, reactivity increases. But whereas these are called as noble metals, they are not reactive or poorly reactive. We also call them as noble metals. So why less reactive elements are placed along with more reactive elements? That was not justified. So elements with different properties are placed together. Now similarly, if you observe silver and thallium, thallium's stable oxidation state is +1. Thallium stable oxidation state is +1. Silver stable oxidation state is also +1. That means they both show similar properties. But silver is placed in group 1 and thallium is placed in group 3. So that means we can say elements with similar properties are separated. Next. Position of transition elements. Shall I rub this part? Position of transition elements. These transition elements are placed in every group except 0, which is not justified. Why they have placed the transition elements in every group? That was not explained properly. So placed in every group except 0, which was not justified. Next. Position of lanthanides and actinides, or we call them as inner transition elements. Position of inner transition elements. Nothing but lanthanoids and actinoids. So why these lanthanoids and actinoids are placed as a separate table at the bottom of the periodic table? Why they have placed it separately, which was not justified? There is no proper explanation for that. Right? Are placed are separated from the main table. And this is not justified. Right? These are the limitations of or defects in modern periodic table. After that, Bohr has proposed that periodic table must be done based upon, periodic classification must be done based upon electronic configuration. So, if you complete this, we will discuss that. Classification based upon electronic configuration. So by that time, they have discovered new elements. That means artificial elements are found, man-made elements are found. Artificial elements means nothing but man-made elements, synthetic elements, right? So which is the smallest synthetic element? Technetium, atomic number 43. We also call it as wonder metal, right? Technetium is called as wonder metal. Wonder metal is the smallest man-made element. Smallest means in the sense of atomic mass or in the sense of atomic number. It is the smallest man-made element. Notes రాస్తే నిద్ర రాకుండా రాయకుండా రాయి కూర్చుంటే నిద్ర వస్తానే ఉంటుంది. Pages gap वगैरह साथ Now, sir, before going to see next classification, how to give names to heavier elements. That means in the periodic table, particularly in 7th period. So there are few man-made elements which are newly discovered at that time. So how to give numbering or naming to that respective elements, right? If we have 0, use the symbol or use the name nil. One, un,
by,
by,
quad,
try, quad, pent, hex, sept, oct, n. For example, the element's atomic number is 111. So then it is
last line.
Aniyam. Right? Aniyam. Right? Symbol is U. Aniyam. If it is 114, then quadium. Symbol UQ. First symbol first letter must be capital. Right? Next, if it is 118, then octium. Symbol is UU. So let me stop that. That is how you need to give names for newly discovered elements. Later they will propose some place name or some scientist name, right? According to that. For example, Rutherfordium, Mendelevium. These are all names of scientists, right?